show the syllabus. Ano ba yung syllabus? OBE. Ito. Okay. By the way, class, for those students pala, sige, bago ko pala muna i-discuss itong syllabus natin, for those students na late lang, lately lang nabasa yung chat or currently join, please join yung ating teams na group for class. That's 37 as well. So, nandito din naman yung online class link that I posted sa Facebook group natin. So, ano lang, please refer na lang dun sa time that whenever we will be having an online class. So, eto lang din yung link na gagamitin natin. So, please visit na lang. And then if there would be any announcements like suspensions or or shift in learning modality to synchronous. So we will be having that, let's say, online. So ito din yung link natin. And then ganoon din kapag cycle B. Anyway, kahit pala cycle A, so we will be having this one online. And then um uh, uh in in case that you will be having an issue with the attendance, since most of you baka on the way pala school o ay sa bahay, dahil may sabi sa akin nung class rep nyo is meron pa ata kayong class na hydraulic. So okay lang, just visit na lang yung ating recording once it is already available. And then for the recording, I'll try to, hindi ko kasi alam kung pwede mag-post dito ng recording sa group na to. Pero we'll see kung pwedeng i-upload. Ang issue kasi, if you're using external email to join our class, so hindi nyo mabu-view yung ating recording, kailangan nyo pa ng approval coming from me. Pero kung PUP email naman yung gagamitin nyo, so you won't be having any issues whenever you wanted to visit yung ating recording. And as well, I will be providing an additional recording for other topics na hindi natin mako-cover. A online account. Siguro kayo na lang din yung tanungin ko kung yung generation nyo ba, saan ba usually nag nagbo-view ng mga videos? Is it sa Facebook, sa YouTube, or saan ba, sa TikTok or whatsoever? So just please comment na lang chat box natin dito sa class na dito. If you want, if you wanted to ano to, if you wanted to um give me an insight yon kung saan mas magandang i-upload yung ating video. Okay? Chat nyo na lang dito sa chat box kung saan yung platform na most preferred nyo para i-navigate um, yung future recordings natin. Topic natin with the syllabus rather. So let me just go one by one here. Skipan na lang natin itong mission vision. So you already know that one. Okay, so our course code is CIEN 305 with the course title of Building System Design. And it is 3-unit subject with the prerequisite of engineering drawings and plans. So for the course description, so basically, so we will be dealing with the building code, and then we will be discussing the terminologies, and as well as we will be also covering up the building construction. as part of like the architectural, plumbing, electrical, vertical transportation, security, and fire protection. So basically, since siguro naman most of you are currently, tama ba, third year na kayo sa ano nyo, sa university standing. Kung hindi third year, second year siguro probably. Yun. So this subject will give you an insight doon sa mga terminologies and also on how we work or how or what are the things that we will be we will be encountering sa future when we are working as a civil engineer, like for example the terminologies and then what are the processes, but we will not tackle down deep yung mga terms or processes kasi meron pa tayong mga other subjects as well that you will be having kung saan doon na maituturo ng in detail yung mga other aspects of civil engineering. Okay? So, yun. Please read na lang itong ating course description. Hindi ko na binasa kasi kung ano man yung sinabi ko, doon lang naman siya iikot. Basically. Okay, so for week 1, currently we are now at week 2. So siguro very brief na lang tayo sa orientation and then we will start at module 1 for this part. Okay, I think limited kasi yung time natin, hindi tayo aabot doon sa entirety of the concepts. Pero yun, I'll try to upload. If not, I will carry over the remaining topics next week bago natin i-discuss yung week 4, 3 and 4, which is the National Building Code. So, by the way, after that, so that's for week 3 and 4, that's the National Building Code, right after week 2 na introduction to building construction. So, by the way pala, bago ako mag-jump, so for the module 1, so ang i-cover natin yan will be the construction principles as part of the introduction, basic construction terminologies. So ngayon pala sinasabi ko na meron tayong assignment. I will be posting it na lang doon sa Teams. Pero yun, makikita nyo rin siya later dito as I run through the presentation. These construction plans contents. So next meeting na lang, pakita ko na isang example ng construction plans. Ano ba yung mga makikita natin sa construction plans? Pero wala pa kasi akong hawak ngayon. Ang meron pa lang ako yung sa structural ko. Pero I'll collate ko lang yung construction plans. And then we will be having the design and estimating concepts. By the way, although we have a separate subject which is the quantity surveying, so I will be discussing a very brief ways on how to estimate, and then that will also be part of our requirements. Now later on, I will be discussing what are the requirements for this subject. Pala. Ayun. Okay, and the next is the codes and provisions of the building and codes and provision in building design and construction. So one of those codes is ito nga, yung for week 3 for the National Building Code of the Philippines. So with that, we will be discussing yung building code, the fire zone requirements, construction types, building classifications, lighting and ventilation, sanitation. Then lastly, the general design and construction requirements. So basically, para lang magkaroon kayo ng idea so what are the things to consider whenever we are preparing construction plans or when we are designing. Well, separate pa dito yung ginagamit natin as part of structural engineer yung NSCP. So that will be tackled sa future siguro. Okay, the next for week 5, long exams. Pero for the examination, so let's discuss na lang or let's have it announced na lang kung kailan tayo mag-e-exam. Usually pala, by the way, class, whenever I have this subject, kahit anong subject, I always ask the students if pwede na kami mag-exam next week so that there would be no issues like kunwari meron kayong activity sa school. So para hindi ko masasagasaan yung activity for the exam. So I am quite considerate with that one. So let's discuss kung kailan tayo mag-exam. And then for week week 6 is concrete and foundation plans. So we will be discussing that later. So part of that, what is concept in interpreting plans. So kung paano natin binabasa yung plan. And then concrete as a material, types, then estimating concrete methods of in estimating concrete, and then methods in proportion concrete components. I think this one pala, i-discuss na natin to ngayon kasi part siya ng basic intro. And etong portion na ito ay except the estimating part. So hindi mo na ako magpapa-estimate. Then, week 7 and 8 is still in structural framing plans. So same din, review of fundamental concepts in interpreting plans, still as a material, types of reinforcing bars, columns, beams, deform bars, tsaka estimating rebar or the cutting list. So we will be having that. And then week 10, pre-stress and precast concrete and slab. So basically ganun din. Week 12 and 13, masonry. Pag sinabi natin masonry, yan yung mga non-load bearing, like for example, yung mga CHB. Yan. So yan yung mga masonry natin. Ano siya? Made out of concrete din, pero hindi siya nag-carry ng any load. Minsan, pwede din natin i-consider as yung mga load bearing masonries. So usually, those are not load bearing, or in short, yan yung nagko-compose ng pader natin. And then part of that one is the elevation, detailed cross-section, longitudinal sections, and plans. Then, ano pa ba? Ayan, 14 and 15, roofing materials, roof framing plans, scaffolding and formworks. Then lastly, wood estimate and woodworks with scaffolding and forms. So all of those are necessary whenever we are dealing with constructions. So yun yung mga i-expect nyo sa class na matututunan nyo. Okay, by the way class, I will be uploading this syllabus sa ano natin, sa Teams para pwede nyo ma-access anytime at para ma-track nyo din kung nasaan na tayo within the syllabus. Then, ano ba? Mamaya na yung grading system, yung policies, etc. Ayan. So, ayun. And also later, you will be forming a group. I think ang nilagay ko dito is group of 3, I think. Siguro so as early as now, you talk to each other kung sino yung gusto niyo maging group member. So, hindi ako yung magbibigay ng grouping sa inyo. Again, maximum ng 3. Kung 4 kayo magkakaibigan, so maximum of 3 pa din. Okay? With the intro, tingnan natin kung ano content nitong slide na ginawa ko. So, description, we already discussed this one. Ayan, grading system. Class, please take note that doon sa grading system ng university natin is 670 yung class standing. And then major exam is 30. So, nilipat ko yung 10% from the class standing sa major exam kasi midterm and final exam to. So, ibig sabihin, tig 20% sila. So, kaysa taasan ko yung other items dito, like sa quizzes, usually naman dapat medyo malaki ito. So, I adjust. Okay? So, ngayon pala sinasabi ko na in-adjust ko yung grading ng midterm and final into 40% sila instead of tig 15. Unless if you wanted me to have 70-30, so I can keep the 15% for both midterm and final exam, considering na magdadagdag pa ako ng isa pang requirement para sa class standing para maging 70%. Kasi wala na akong paglalagyan dito ng remaining 10% na inilipat ko sa major exams because mas tataas naman yung percentage nun with the midterm and final exam na supposedly na. Okay, so ayan, for the class standing, so we have class participation of 10%. So for this one, by mirroring the class, so kung wala kayong absent kapag na-compute ako ng grade, so I will give that 10% sa inyo kasi by just merely attending, you are quite participating. So by merely attending, so you are participating enough na magkaroon ng audience and to participate to learn. So hindi naman not necessarily na mag-recite, pero yan 10% it will be given. So syempre, ganun din kung automatic na kumbaga lalabas, parang automatic may 10%. So ganun din sa seat work and homework, sa seat work and homework or assignment. Kasi pag pumasok kayo, makakapasa kayo ng seat work and assignment. 'Di ba? Lalo na kung mayroon deadline, yung binigay kong time. So parang basically by just exerting effort to you, so you will be having at least 30% of your semester grade. Tapos yun, paghihirap or yung for the reviews, yun, yung quizzes, midterm exam and final exam. For the plates naman, so since that will be groupings, so hindi pa ako nakakita bumagsak na student sa plates, lalo na kung kompleto naman yung pinasa ng group nila. So dito naman ang kailangan nilang pagiging responsible for you to submit your plates on time. Okay? Then yan, for the requirements, ayan. So class participation, merely attendance yan. So for the plate, we will be doing estimates of plate 1 to 5. So I will be discussing this one separately. If not, I will be providing videos kung hindi natin mako-cover kasi kailangan natin yan. Kaya may concrete 1 and concrete 2 for plate 1 and 2. So I will be splitting the concrete structures or concrete elements doon sa ating building. For example, although undecided pa kung hanggang saan yung example of that one, let's say under concrete one. So we will be having footing, column, tapos beam, or footing column lang. Tapos pagdating natin sa plate 2 or concrete 2, beam and slab naman. So kumbaga hinahati lang natin yung mga concrete elements dun sa isang structure. And then plate 3 is the reinforcement bar. So that would cover the bar cuttingness and the bar bending schedule. Then masonry, and then yun, formworks. So di ko na sinama yung scaffolding para hindi masyadong madami. And then quizzes, at least we will be having 4. If it's impossible for us to have 4, we'll see. Pero yan yung target natin, magkaroon tayo ng 4 quizzes, ganun din sa 4 seat works, and assignments. Then for the major and final exam, for the major exam, so that would be midterm and final exams. Now, let's go to the plate. For the plate, so you will be providing at least 3-story residential. So it will be a group of 3. Ang minimum floor area per floor is 200 square meter. So ibig sabihin kailangan yung floor area nyo sa ground floor 200 square meter na. Hindi yan total of the 3 floors. Okay? Then concrete structure with roof and framing plan. Okay? So for the approval, pwede nyo ako i-message sa Facebook. I will check and then I will give you go signal if your plan is approved. Or siguro babaan natin to. Gawin na lang natin 150. 150 na lang para hindi kayo mahirapang maghanap. Ayan, sige. Litan pa natin. Ayan. So, ayan. Again, at least 2-story, group of 3, minimum square meter per floor area. Per floor is 100 square meters. Then, make sure na it is a concrete structure. Huwag kayong sasabit sa akin na gawa yung column or beam sa wide flange or sa steel. Kasi hindi ko i-discuss dito yung steel. Okay? Sa QS na lang siguro kapag nag-QS na kayo, doon nyo na lang i-estimate yung mga structures with steel. Kaya lang dito kasi, ililimit ko lang. Although we will be discussing kung paano in-estimate yung steel, pero yung may kinalaman na lang sa roof framing. So roof framing, di ba, yan yung mga purlins, mga trusses ng bubong. So currently, yung common na ginagamit ngayon dyan is C-channels or angle bars. So okay na yon as steel. Pero wag yung may column na or beam na kasi maguguluhan kayo pagdating sa plate. Okay? So again, pag sinabing concrete structure, yung structure natin is made out of concrete column and concrete frame. Wait lang. Okay. Yun. Yung grading system. For the grading system, so siguro naman familiar kayo dito. Ang passing natin is 75 and then equivalent to 3. So lower than 75, like 74.9999. Hindi siya 75, so bagsak siya. So as early as today, sinasabi ko na pag lumabas yung grades at the end of the semester, ayoko nung may madami nagme-message sa akin na magsasabi na, sir, may kailangan po bang i-submit? Sir, ganito, ganyan. So, again, hindi ko siya ine-entertain. Okay, so as early as today, kailangan nyo lang mag-effort for you to pass the at the subject. At hindi rin naman mahirap yung subject natin. Isa to sa madadaling subject sa civil engineering. Kung babagsak kayo dito, there must be something wrong with you. Hindi doon sa mga pinapagawa natin. Okay? Kasi definitely, hindi mahirap tong subject na to. Kasi mga concepts, terminologies lang din to eh. And minor computation. Okay? For the class policies, ayun, regular attendance is expected. Pero yun, since we will be having online, so kahit late kayo mag-join doon sa recording, as long as ma-capture kayo ng recording natin. Then yun, late submission will not be accepted kapag hindi kayo nakapagpasa on time. So, hindi ko natatanggapin yung mga papers nyo. Lalo na online naman yung submission natin. Kahit may sakit kayo, kaya nyo gawin yan. Ha? Then for paperworks, make sure na you are using A4. Pag hindi, -20. Okay. By the way, class, during exams pala, I provide papers kasi napansin ko yung mga students natin sa PUP, kayo yung nagpo-provide ng papel nyo. So, sa tuwing exam, basta pag whenever na mag-improve nyo ako sa future, basta ako yung nagpo-provide ng paper, you don't need to provide one, you don't need to bring out scratch paper or whatsoever. Ako yung nagpo-provide ng paper natin. Okay, pero for other paperwork, so sa inyo na yun. Please use A4 size. Yun. Pagka hindi tama yung paper size nyo, so that's -20 for that specific submission. The notebooks are recommended but not necessarily required. I recommend that because I believe na kapag sinusulat nyo yung isang bagay, nagkakaroon ng retention. Kaysa yung kinaka-copy-paste nyo lang yung nakasulat sa presentation or yung nakasulat doon sa kinakopy nyo na researches. Okay? Yun, only 2 valid absences is allowed. So basically, ano to? It would fall under, kapag kunwari may exam tayo, hindi ka nakapag-take. So, what's your reason? Is it valid? So kapag valid, i-allow kita. So para i-allow kita, hindi ko kailangan ng speech letter, kailangan ko makausap parents or guardian mo. Okay? Then, yun. Pero kunwari nagle-lecture tayo, hindi ka naka-attend. So okay lang yun kasi online naman yung lecture, pwede mong balikan. Pero absent ka pa din nun. Yung valid absences will only apply doon sa exams. Tsaka, tawag dito, although, ayun nga, pag nagkasakit ka tapos lecture, so absent pa din yun. So it would somehow, ano to, na subtract yung 10% na sinabi natin kanina under class participation. Okay. Yun. Then quiz, hindi ko to na-update. So that's 4 and major exams are coverage also are announced. And then dito ako mahigpit. Forms of dishonesty. Hindi ko binasa kung ano yung nasa student handbook natin. Basta pahuli ko kayong doing any forms of dishonesty and cheating. So I will not tolerate that. One strike policy will be implemented. Meaning, pag nag-cheat ka doon sa submission natin or sa exam natin, so 5 ka na kagad sa akin. Okay. Ayun. Ano ba? Ano ba next slide ko? Ayun. By the way, papakilala ko. So, I am by the way, I am a part-time faculty sa PUP. So, pakilala muna ako. I'm Engineer Mark Tristan Felix, MSCE. My educational background is I am a graduate of MIT sa Mapua. BSCE nung 2020, nung 2006 until 2010. And then, I took my board exam in 2011. Then I took my master's degree, major in structural engineering, specialization of structural engineering. So that's from 2012 until 2014. So ano siya, with thesis yung aking master's degree. And then yun, after 11 years, currently actually here, nandito kasi ako sa UP. So right now, I'm currently taking up my PhD sa water resource. I started last second sem and ongoing siya. So I am a part-time faculty sa Adamson from 2023 until present, and then currently sa ating university 2024 until present. So and I'm also a part-time faculty before sa FEU Tech from 2015 until 2020. So by the way, my full-time job is sa Oricon. Ang office namin is sa Pasig. I'm I'm with Oricon from 2022 to present. So ito yung full-time job ko. Now, if you have any concerns with me, if ever sa future na maging panel nyo ako sa thesis, kasi last sem nag-panel ako sa thesis ng mga graduating students natin. So you won't need to go sa office namin kung kailangan nyo magpapirma, or let's say meron kayong any concerns with me about the subjects. So since kahit may office kami sa Pasig, I'm working from home. So just message me and then let's check na lang yung available location, kung saan ako available, doon na lang ako puntahan for any concern. But either way, you can reach me out sa Facebook. Kung meron kayong concern sa subject, pwede kayong mag-message sa sa Teams, or kahit hindi ko nabibigay yung phone number ko. Pero yun, although we have class representative, para mabawasan din yung burden ng class rep, I don't mind if you will directly contact me kung meron kayong concern, para hindi nadadaan sa class rep nyo. Okay? So, pwede kayong dumiretso sa akin kung meron kayong any questions about sa subject natin or sa any deliverables, particularly when you are presenting your plans for approval. Plus, yung pag nag-present pala kayo ng plans for approval, please make sure na paunahan kayo, kasi pag nakita ko na yung plano at natandaan ko may kapareho ka sa classmate mo, papahanapin kita ng iba. Okay? Sige. Any question? May chat ba kayo? May question ba? Oh. Well, class, message kayo dito kung sa platform ko i-upload yung video. Ha? Baka mamaya kasi hindi na kayo nagbo-view sa YouTube kaya pwede ko namang i-upload anywhere, pero isa lang. Okay, paano na lang dito, or probably yung ating class rep can decide OneDrive. Mahirap sa OneDrive kasi napupuno. Yun pala yung issue ko. OneDrive or Google Drive napupuno. Lalo yung OneDrive ni PUP. Napupuno na yung OneDrive namin kasi meron kami recordings coming from last semester na hindi pa namin pwedeng i-delete. Pa-accept daw Erwin Perez. Sige, teka. Accept na natin. Una. Accept ko lang lahat sa pare sa akin. Ayan. Alright. I think ito yung sa class mo. Okay. Ayun. Sige, antayin ko na lang yung yung sagot nyo for kung Facebook. Sa YouTube na lang. Sige, sa YouTube na lang. Okay. Meron kasing nagsabi sa akin na yung generation nyo hindi na daw masyado nagbo-view sa YouTube. Parang TikTok nga ba yun? Or anong software, anong app yun? Well, ayun lang. Sige. Anyway, going back, let's proceed with the first module. Class, by the way, ang class natin ngayon hanggang 3:45 lang. So, I will not exhaust the entire time. So, hanggang 3:45 lang muna tayo for today. So, yun, I will not exhaust yung entire time natin. So, after that, I will upload an additional na lang, recordings para dun sa mga maiiwan natin topic, or again, I will carry it over sa next meeting. So, open ko lang yung module 1. siguro i-cover natin to module 1 and 2A. So class, for the succeeding lecture, so please expect that I will be discussing yung mga terminologies. I will be defining terminologies, or I will be defining um, um, items or general knowledge with regards to building construction. Ha? So wala muna tayong any calculation. Okay, so simulan natin. Introduction to building construction. I think ilang slide to? 9 slides. Then, yung other infos will be discussed sa mga succeeding slides. So, ayan, ILO natin. Skip na natin, basahin na lang yan para makaproceed tayo sa topic. Ayan, for the outline. So, for the outline ng first module natin is the introduction of construction principle, basic construction terminologies, construction plan contents, planning and estimating concepts, and then codes and provision in building design and construction. So class, itong first item pala, ito, outline, so intro, and then ito, we will be having an assignment agad dito. And then construction plans and contents, this one, I will discuss it very briefly, pero we will be having this one kapag meron na akong example na ng plans para mas ma-appreciate nyo kung ano ba yung ano niyan, ano yung itsura. And then concepts of estimating, and then this one, provision. So I will briefly discuss this one as we go along, pero we will have that on the second module, yung building code, I think nasabi ko kanina. Class, etong mga dinidiscuss natin, kung maalala nyo doon sa syllabus natin, is ito yung second week. Okay. So, introduction. So, basically, the construction principles are fundamental guidelines for effective building, prioritizing safety, quality, cost efficiency, speed, and sustainability to ensure projects are completed safely, on time, within budget, and meet the functional and aesthetic requirements while minimizing the environmental impact. So, ang haba, no? So, pasimplihin natin. Kung may isang project, ang una natin tinitinan kasi is, what's the impact niya sa environment? Ganun na kasi mag-apply ng ano ngayon ng project. Unlike before, hindi kino-consider yung environment. Siguro ngayon nakakadinig na kayo ng environmental impact assessment, ECC. Yan. So those are the guidelines na kailangan ma-meet natin bago tayo mag-start sa project to minimize yung impact. Kasi kung di natin maiwasan yung impact, what are the solutions or the remedy natin na gagawin sa project para ma-minimize yung impact, as well as kung meron tayong maapektuhan, to replace kung ano yung project na naapektuhan. Well, yun yung environmental standpoint. On the other hand, ang importante din is the function and the aesthetic. Si client, gusto niya functional, okay? Functional yung project niya based on sa needs niya with aesthetic requirements. Gusto niya syempre maganda. For example, bahay. Kailangan functional yung bahay at the same aesthetic, pasado kay client. Okay. Considering yung engineering standpoint, it should be within the budget. Kasi kung hindi siya within the budget, lugi tayo, mag-aabono. So, yung budget goes with time. Kasi kung the more time you use, the more budget you use. Kung mas maaga ka matatapos, mas konting budget yung kakailanganin mo. Okay? Pero while doing that, we shouldn't compromising the safety. Okay, yung safety ng ating construction methods dapat hindi kailangan meron tayong safe man hours or wala tayong man hours lost. Or meaning hindi tayo nagkaroon ng injuries para or merong worst case, merong mamatay para lang ma-complete natin yung project within time and budget. Okay, so yun. Mapapansin nyo, paatras yung yung atake kasi ganun eh. Yun yung step by step na dapat natin kino-consider. Okay? And then also, yun, as part of that, yun, yung sustainability, that's within the environment, speed, time, cost efficient, the budget, the quality, the functionality, and aesthetic requirements. And then, ang important again is the safety. Okay? And then key aspects include adherence to legal and regulatory standards, meticulous planning and execution, proper resource management, clear communication, and a focus on customer satisfaction and continuous improvement. I think what's not being discussed dito sa first part, sa second part is the adherence to legal and regulatory standards. So, meron tayong mga codes, laws na kailangan sundin like Building Code, National Structural Code of the Philippines. So, those are the codes na dapat we apply doon sa project. Kapag horizontal projects naman yung ginagawa natin, like yung timely, na usong-usong issue ngayon, na flood control, ayan. Or kunwari, mga roads and bridges, ayan, lalo yung bridge na gumuho daw sa Isabela ba yun? So, yun, basically, so one of the other regulatory standards that you may use for those projects naman are the DPWH manuals. So we have this manual, ang tawag doon is DGCS, DPWH DGCS 2015. You may download it pala class if you want. Meron ako nakitang source online, pero yung ibang gusto ng hard copy, pwede kayong pumunta I think sa DP para bumili ng hard copy of that regulatory standards. Yun. Then, kung nakapunta kayo sa office ni Sir Kenneth, I think meron doon color orange. Parang kung di ako nagkakamali, meron doon. So yun, those are sample of standards that we use for the adherence of the legal and regulatory standards. Okay. Ayun. Yan. So for the basic construction terminologies, we will along the way with the other topics. So doon ko na lang i-detailed yung ating terminologies. Pero for assignment number 1, plus pwede nyo ng picturean to para makapag-search na kayo later. So, construction vernacular terms. Ay hindi, wag natin gawing assignment. Sit work na lang kasi maaga pala akong magdi-dismiss. Asa na 'yan? Gawin natin itong sit work, ha. Kasi meron pa akong pa-assignment na i-upload ko later. Okay. Na may kinalaman sa mga succeeding slides. Okay. So, yun. For sheet work number 1, construction vernacular terms. Isulat nyo to sa A4, handwritten. Okay, gusto ko handwritten ha. Then, isasubmit nyo online. So, i-scan nyo. Then, isasubmit nyo yan doon sa Teams. Gagawa na lang ako ng assignment doon sa page para doon kayo magda-drop ng any postings nyo or any work nyo. Now, what is yung vernacular terms? Ano lang to, English-Tagalog terminologies. Okay, para aware kayo. Kunwari, example, door hinge. Okay, door hinge. So ano ba yung door hinge sa Tagalog? Bisagra, 'di ba? Door jamb, ano ba siya sa Tagalog? Hamba. Okay, or poste, halige. Okay, so basically search nyo the more vernacular terms na masa-search nyo online, isulat nyo. So, that would be part of your learning kasi again, as you write, may retention yan sa utak nyo kung ano yung sinusulat nyo. Kahit hindi na kayo kumopya sa klase nyo ng sit work, kahit hindi na kayo kumopya kasi or ano naman to available online. So, I don't think na may issue kayo dito. Okay. So, yan yung sit work number 1. Ay. Teka nga, hinaan ko nga yung anak ko. Okay, game. Going back, so next is the construction plan contents. So basically, the contents of the plan, may makikita kayo ng notes, plans, details, long sections, etc. So we will be discussing this part probably next meeting kapag kapag meron na ako may papakita example para mas ma-appreciate nyo what are the contents ng isang construction plan. Okay. Next is design and estimate. So just a very brief, this would be a very brief very brief description kasi I will be discussing each design and estimate separately every item as we go along, like estimate or yung sa design part ng concrete, ng formworks, yon. So meron tayong separate detailed discussion for that, pero as part of the very brief description, it is a complementary process. So, ibig sabihin, parehong siyang sabay ginagawa. Complementary process where design involves the planning and creation of a solution, and estimation provides the numerical basis for cost, time, and resources needed to realize that work or that design. And then next is for the stages. So I will be discussing it further pag meron na rin akong plan. Pero usually the stages are but not limited. Feasibility, you will check if the project is feasible. So magwo-work ba yung project? So kapag ka magwo-work yung project, you will now go to the next phase, is the schematic. The schematic, you will create a high-level design. You will have a high-level assumption with your design. So basically, parang paggagawa ka ng, kunwari lang, ng bahay, mabilis ang calculation, mabilis ang assumption, ganun. And then kapag detailed na, those are the time na you finalize part of the schematic. Parang kailangan, ano to, kailangan economical na yung mga sizes, kailangan valid na and reasonable na yung mga assumptions. So, doon na yung babagsak under detailed design. And then right after that, pwede ka na mag-provide ng construction plans na again, i-discuss natin next meeting kapag mayroon na akong plan to present with you. Okay, eto din, skipan na natin to kasi for now, i-discuss natin yan sa module 2. So punta tayo dun sa next topic. Ito ay medyo marami. Simulan natin yung terminologies sa earth and filling materials. Ito medyo mahaba to. We'll see. Tingnan natin kung nasa tayo abot. So, module 1, the earth and filling materials. So, earth and filling materials. Sabi dito, modern day rock fill dam or yung dam na made out of rock. Construction must rely heavily on past experiences for guidance pertaining to the placement and compaction of large rock fragments in a compacted fill structure. Siguro ang pwede ko mabigay na example sa inyo na rock fill dam or earth dam is tailings. Ito baka ngayon nyo lang nadinig tong term na to. Maliban na lang kung meron kayong kakilala sa mining projects na nagwo-work, alam nila yung term na tailings. Pakita ko lang sa inyo, class. Ayan. So sa tailings dam, ito yung an example yan, earth fill embankment dam. So para siyang dam. Actually dam siya eh, pero hindi lang siya hydropower. Hindi katulad ng dam na kilala nyo. Hindi siya yung dam na hindi siya yung dam na commonly na alam ng nakararami na made out of concrete tapos may turbine. Ito hindi, earth lang talaga siya. Na ano sa unti-unting pinapatong yung layer tapos kino-compact yung dam. Ayan. So nag-impound siya ng tubig sa kabilang side. So ayan. Ang tawag yan is tailings dam. Pangkaraniwan again makikita to sa mga minahan. Ayan. So ayan siya. Dam. Okay. Anyway, going back. So yun. An example of an earth filled dam. Ayan. Special rock equipments and procedures are required for rock barrow development, hauling, placing, and compacting to produce a stable and acceptable engineered fill structure. So basically, ano ba yung mga equipment na makikita natin working with the earth and filling materials? Excavator or yung backhoe. Ayan. And then minsan yung backhoe pinapalitan natin yung dulog, nagiging breaker, lalo na kung medyo bato or medyo matigas yung kailangan nating i-excavate para madurog yung bato. So, mas madali nating mahahakot And then we have the loader. Okay, pakita nga natin. Ay, payloader. Payloader. Ayan, loader sa lupa. So, excavator. So, familiar, nakakita naman na kayo niyan. Then, breaker. Ayan, ito yung sinasabi ko, pinapalitan yung dulo. Ayan, nagiging hydraulic breaker. Ayan, pinapalitan lang yan actually class, hindi siya separate equipment. Kasi pag bumibili tayo ng equipment, the equipment should be flexible enough to do multiple tasks. Ayan. And then yun, kapag nadurog mo na yan or nahakot mo na, saan mo siya ilalagay? Using backhoe sa dump truck and excavator. Tignan natin. Ayan. So basically, ilalagay mo na yung lupa. Tapos, pupunta na yan doon sa other part para let's say, ibagsak yung hinahakot nating lupa. Okay? Just imagine, yung dump truck lilipat from this place. Mara dito, saan ba? Ito, yan. Tapos kung napupunta doon sa malayo, tapos doon niya i-dump. So, once na-dump yan, dump truck, tsaka grader naman ang kakailanganin natin. Ang itsura ng grader, ganito. Ito siya, ganito. So, ang ginagawa niya, ay, video to. Mali. Ang ginagawa ng grader is ikinakalat niya yung lupa na itinambak nung ating, kunwari, lupa to, dadaanan niya yan para ma-scatter yung lupa. So, ganun yung purpose ng grader. Tingnan nga natin kung ano dito. Ayan. Ayan siya. So, makikita nyo, kinakalat yung lupa. So, pag naikalat na at a certain thickness, if I'm not mistaken, that's 300 ba or 450? I forgot. Kailangan yung kapal ng lupa na ikinakalat, pag naikalat na, kailangan from the compacted layer, kung maglalatag ulit ng panibagong layer, that's around I think 300 or 450. You can check pagka nasa geotech na kayo na subject. Yun, that's the time na, and ano to, gagamitan ng roller. Ayan. Roller naman. Ayan sila side by side. Kaya kung makikita nyo, madalas siyang sabay. Ayan. So, kakalat ng grader, tapos i-compact ng roller. So, by the way, we do have two types of roller. Ang tawag dito, yung makinis. So, that is flat drum roller. Ayan. And then, ito namang isa na to, ang tawag dito is sheep's foot. Ayan. Sheep's foot. Ay. So, anong pinagkaiba ng flat drum sa sheep's foot roller? When you are dealing with compaction, kapag gusto mong i-compact yung kinalat ng grader, sheep's foot talaga ang ginagamit. Pero di ko sure kung mas mahal pero kasi mas maraming gamit yung flat roller na to kaysa sa sheep's foot. Kasi itong sheep's foot, pwede mo lang yan gamitin sa earth compaction. Pero hindi mo yan pwedeng gamitin sa pavement compaction. 'Di ba nakakita na kayo ng inilatag na asfalto? So, iba pa yung nagkakalat ng asfalto hindi siya grader. Asphalt paver 'yon. Ito 'yon. Asphalt paver. Ayan. Ito 'yon yung magkakalat ng asphalt. Pero anyway, yung asphalt paver, this is specific doon sa pagkalat ng asfalto na to yung kulay black. Pero yun, kapag lupa ang ikinakalat at kinocompact, it is best to use sheep's foot. Pero kapag pavement, it is best to use roller. Pero minsan, pwede na rin naman gamitin yung flat drum. Pero yung flat drum, pwede rin naman siyang gamitin sa sa pag-compact ng earth kung wala namang ibang available. Pero ba din again, mas magandang gamitin pa rin ng ship's foot. And by the way, class, both rollers, whether ship's foot or flat drum, ano siya, it compacts, well, then nagbabibrate siya. So ano siya, hindi lang siya parang dumadaan na mabigat. Kung hindi, habang dumadaan siya, parang nagbabibrate yung equipment para mas makompact lalo yung ating surface. And then yun, once we have the earth, since earth filling yung pinag-uusapan natin, once we have the earth fill compacted, so itetest na natin siya kung pasado na ba siya doon sa percentage compaction. So pagkapasado, pwede na ulit magtambak ng panibago. The reason why we have to compact it at a certain layer bago tayo mag-fill ulit, kasi kapag nagtambak tayo ng nagtambak, hindi siya mako-compact. Loose yung soil natin. So what will happen is that as time goes, magsesettle yung lupa. So mawawala yung voids or yung airs doon sa compacted ay doon sa filled material natin. So pag nangyari yun, babagsak yung natin, lupa, yung level ng lupa. Kung may nakatungtungkang structure, magiging unstable. Pwedeng masira. So kumbaga by compacting soil, we somehow mimic yung settlement ng soil natin. Kailangan niya mag-settle. Kaya kung mapapansin niyo sa mga sementeryo, ito lagi ko binibigay na example eh. Sa mga sementeryo, pag naghukay sila, kunwari may ililibing, yung lupang ibinabalik nila mas mataas compared doon sa level mismo ng sementeryo. Kasi alam nila as time goes by, magsesettle pa yung lupa nila doon sa hinukay nila. Okay, I hope clear yun, class, yung in terms of the settlement. Anyway, going back, so saan na tayo dito? Conventional earth fill test methods. Ito nga yung test method na binanggit ko. Ang kine-check kasi natin doon is yung moisture content. So yun yung percent compaction natin. I think one of the tests na pwede i-conduct is yung FDT or the field density test. Pagka nagtatabaho na kayo and then you encounter that test, ang advice sa akin before nung subcon na magte-test, lumayo doon sa device kasi nuclear pala yon, may nuclear radiation yung device nila. So if you are aspiring or if you are someday you want to build your own family, sabi sa akin, lumayo ka diyan kasi pwede kang mabaog doon sa radiation no equipment. So yun, just be mindful kung meron mang ganong instances na ma-encounter nyo sa future para lang safe kayo. Ayun. Pero pwede naman lumapit once the test is already run the process. Wag lang during habang tumatakbo yung process. Ayan. Then this article presents a suggested definition of different filling materials. Ito. These are, so sa earthworks, are engineering earthworks created through processing of parts and earth surface involving quantities of soil or unformed rock. Plus later on pala, siguro once na matapos ko lahat ng brief discussion with the terminologies, kasi after this earthworks, I will be discussing concrete and then steel, etc. So once na matapos ko lahat, then matapos tayo doon sa building code. So we will be discussing yung estimate. So I will discuss you on how to estimate or on how to compute the volume of earthworks. Okay? Particularly sa mga excavation, and then yung earthworks naman sa mga horizontal projects, yung mga kalsada. Okay. So acronyms, ito yung mga may encounter nyo along the way sa course nyo. Ito yung mga may encounter nyo, acronyms din na may encounter nyo sa mismong trabaho natin balang araw. So there is AASHTO. So yung American Association of State Highway and Transport Officials. So ito yung sa pinakakilalang governing body sa US na may kinalaman sa highway. If I'm not mistaken, yung ating DPWH manual is somewhat inspired by AASHTO. Siyempre, meron lang tayong mga changes kasi dapat local scenarios or conditions yung nasa natin, nasa nasa manuals natin. Then next yung ANSI or yung American National Standards Institute. So ito naman one of the standards that sets one of the national standards sa US na nagsiset ng standard for certain materials. Pero hindi magpapahuli diyan. May pinakamadaming natin or pinakamadaming standard in terms of material yung ASTM. Ito pinakasikat to. So ASTM, American Society of Testing Materials. So kahit concrete, meron tayo diyang well-defined tawag ito, well-defined specs or details ng concrete. Yan. And then nandiyan ang DPWH. So alam niyo naman yung Public Works and Highways. Meron din tayong sariling standard adapted from AASHTO. Pero alam ko yung ASTM alam ko merong PS or PNS, Philippine Standard or Philippine National Standard. Para siyang counterpart ng ASTM pero mas mas marami pa rin content yung ASTM. Parang inadapt natin yung nasa ASTM pero hindi ganun ka-vast yung information unlike the ASTM. And then lastly, there is the USCS, the Unified Soil Classification System. So yan, may encounter nyo ulit yung term na yan when you are in soil mechanics. Soil mechanics yan. Okay, acronyms. Ito, standard test AASHTO. Ayan, so it's just an excerpt coming from the AASHTO. Pero yan, you can download the latest AASHTO version. I think 2023 ata yun. Color green yun eh, natatandaan ko. Baka ewan ko lang kung meron nang ni-release ngayon 2025. Pero yung last na chinek ko is 2023. So, sa AASHTO, it classifies inorganic soils for suitability as subgrade materials in terms of good drainage and bearing capacity. So, ano ba yung subgrade materials? Yan yung nasa pinakailalim ng layers of the pavement. Later on, we will be having an example image yung layers of the pavement for you to further understand kung saan nakaupo yung subgrade material. So for the defined particle size, so ito yung definition ng mga particles. So ito, class, i-conduct nyo tong test na to sa ang alam ko sa soil mechanics using sieve analysis. So kukuha kayo ng kunwari, if I'm not mistaken, let's say 1 kilong lupa, tas isi-sieve nyo yun or isasala nyo yun using sieve shaker. Hindi siya pwedeng mano-mano kasi when you are dealing with smaller openings na nung pangsala, so hindi na siya kayang gawin mano-mano, kailangan na ng shaker. So for the boulders, ang size niya is above 75 mm. For the gravel, that is 75 to sieve 10, and then coarse sand sieve 10 to sieve 40, fine is sieve 40 to sieve 200, and then the rest na lumampas dito, that is considered as silt clay particles. So para magkaroon lang kayo ng konting idea, ano ba itong binabanggit ko? Kung wala pa kayong soil mechanics, gawa tayo ng paint. Yung boulders, wag na kasi alam niyo naman yung boulders, malaki yan eh. So hindi ka naman kukuha ng boulder para ilagay sa sample mo. So simulan lang natin sa gravel. Ito lagay natin para nakikita natin yung sa sieve. For example, meron kang isang bag kunwari ng lupa, 1 kilo. Sample lang hindi ko matandaan ilang grams ng soil eh. Tapos you have 4 layers. Para siyang pan. Alam niyo yung para siyang alam niyo yung steamer. Yan. Para siyang steamer na pagpapatong-patungin, 4. Okay. Ang opening dito, okay. So ito so I think ito yung sieve 200 ba? Tapos ito yung 40, ito yung 10. Okay. Kung tama ako sasalin mo to, tapos ang itsura ng isang pan, ganito. Para siyang steamer. So, open siya, para siyang planggana. Pero yung ilalim, kunwari ito, sa Sieve 10, double ko kunwari loob meron siyang screen. Ayan. Pag sinali mo dito yung 1 kilo, syempre may maiiwan na malalaking bato, hindi lumusot. Pag lumusot, okay lang. Yung naiwan, ang tawag dyan gravel. Okay. So just imagine may lumusot dito. Same scenario, ganun din to. Okay, pero this time, mas masinsin na ng konti. Okay, kunwari mas masinsin to ng konti. Ayan. So, pag yung babagsak dyan, so, so yung maiiwan, that is coarse sand. Yung magtutuloy, that is fine sand or silt clay. Siyempre, hindi pa naman tapos kasi yung next layer, itong Sieve 200, meron pa siyang ganito. Ayan. Pero dito, this time, medyo ano na siya, masinsin. Okay? So, pag lumusot siya dito, mayroong mga maiiwan. Okay? Ang tawag dyan, fine sand. Tapos, yung pinakailalim, di ba, 4? Kung di ako nagkakamali, ganito yung setup. Or meron pang other layers, pero the concept is ganito. Then, dito, yung pinakahuli, yung pan, ano na to, close na to. Wala na yung butas. Lahat ng maiipon dito is silt. Lahat ng naiwan dito, fine sand. Lahat ng naiwan dito, coarse sand. Lahat ng naiwan dito, gravel. So, yun yung concept nito. How we define the particle size. Okay? So, ayan. Anyway, going back. We have ano na lang, 9 minutes. So, Atterberg limits. So, for the Atterberg limits, test performs on soils passing sa number 40. So, ano ba yung number 40 again? That is fine sand. So, yung fine sand state natin. So, we test the liquid, plastic, and plasticity index. So, with this one, I will not be discussing kung paano to ginagawa further. Pero, ano to, it's just, ano to, sa liquid limit kasi, we add as much as water, okay, hanggang, ano siya, doon sa liquid state nung lupa. Siyempre, di ba, pag lupa, pag naglagay ka ng tubig, pwede pang hindi siya mag-loose. Merong certain property yung lupa at a certain presence of water. Pwede siya maging plastic. Para pwede siya maging clay. Siguro naman nakakita kayo ng paano ginagawa yung clay pot. Parang basically ganun. Pwede pa siyang clay. Beyond that, hindi na. Ayun. So, yun. You will be discussing that sa ano naman sa soil mechanics kasi ano siya separate experiment siya. So, yung gagamit kayo ng mga Casagrande cup. Then yun, magagawa kayo ng parang ano ba? Parang naglalaro kayo ng clay. Pinapahaba niyo para kayong gumagawa ng pasta. Yun. So, basically yun. It's a separate further discussion. Pero with this, so as part of the standard test sa lupa, so ito yung mga pine-perform natin. We check the liquid limit, the plastic limit, tsaka the plasticity index. Yung plasticity index, meron tong formula, so I will not be discussing that. Just, I will only be defining these 3. So just check na lang yung ating definition for that. Ayan. So for the fill materials or yung ang tawag is Scrumbo, it is a soil crush and soil crushed stone and sand used to raise the existing grade or as a man-made deposit. Kung ito yung tambak, in short, tambak. Generally used under spread footings, pavers, concrete slabs on grade. So, ano yan? Yan yung mga pinagtatambak natin. Okay, so used as granular fills or filters, type of fill materials having majority of its particle size bigger than 0.074 mm. Okay. Then next is borrowed fill. Okay. Soil material suitable as fill or subgrade. And then yung isa naman is base course fill material used in roads and parking construction, commonly granular materials. So basically, ano lang siya, lupa na pinantatambak pero yung each of those three, meron siyang certain size. Magkakaiba sila na size. Kaya kung makikita nyo, kung nakakita na kayo kung paano ginagawa yung mga kalsada. So, yung ilalim kino-compact nila yung subgrade. Tapos naglalagay sila ng mga base cores. Minsan mga cores or medyo malalaki yung bato. Minsan medyo fine yung bato. Pero hindi pwedeng hinahalo. Layer by layer nilang inilalagay yon. And then, pinakahuli, yung pavement natin, pwedeng magawa sa concrete or gawa sa asphalt. Ayan. Ito, example ng yung medyo big particle size na ginagamit natin sa fillers. And then, for the borrowed fill, ayusin ko na lang class yung yung presentation, medyo pangit yung font. Ayan, medyo fine yung sand. Ayan siya. So, ito kung makikita nyo siya, ito yung layer na binabanggit ko kanina. Subgrade, iba to. Ito yung pinakailalim. And then subbase, medyo fine, medyo coarse na onte. Tapos, ito na yung surface ng ating tinatambakan, whatever it is. So, yun. Please take note that each layer, magkakaiba yan ng particle size with regards to the earth fill materials. Then, another part ng earth filling is kapag yung mga riprap or yung rock lining. So, ito yung mga makikita nating malalaking bato. Sa mga provinces, makikita natin to. Malalaking bato, tapos para hindi siya maghiwa-hiwalay, nilalagyan lang ng mortar. Mortar meaning combination of cement and sand. Ayan. So, ayan siya. Riprap ang tawag natin dyan. A constructed layer or facing a stone placed to prevent erosion. So, ito common din makikita din natin to sa mga slope protection. Ito yung pinaka-common. Lalo na kung abundant naman yung riprap or sorry, yung malalaking bato to use as riprap. Ayun. Kung hindi ka pwedeng basta-basta mag-riprap. Like for example, gagawa ka ng slope protection sa dagat, hindi ka pwede basta-basta mag-riprap kasi saka kukuha ng bato. So, yung purpose or yung usage of this one, it depends on the availability of the material. Then gabion system. Ito naman yung gabion, parang may wire mesh na cube. Just imagine this one. Ito ginamit namin to sa sa minahan, sa tailings. Meron kaming gabion. So ano siya, wire enclosed system siya. Just imagine ito, ang sukat nito kung di ako nagkakamali, 1 by 1. Tapos gawa ka ng cube na gawa sa wire mesh. O orderin mo lang tong pa-cube na to, yung wire mesh na yan, tapos isinasarado parang may takip. As in, gagawa ka lang ng cube. Ngayon yung mga bato, since abundant yan doon sa site, itatambak mo lang dyan yung bato. So, tawag dyan gabion. Kung meron sa inyong taga Dasmariñas, I think gumamit sila doon ng gabion. Wala akong matandaan pang ibang lugar eh. Tingnan natin. Ano to? Promenade. Eto. So, gumamit sila ng gabion. Very to. So, yun. Kung meron sa inyong taga Cavite, nakita niyo na to siguro. Ayan. Yung mga bato-bato na yan. Tingnan natin. Tagal naman. Pero anyway, while waiting. Pero yan, yung mga bato na yung mga nakalatag. So that's made out of gabion. Bagal. Anyway, tingnan nyo na lang class yung pangalan nito. Or isasama ko na lang din dun sa slide. Pagka in-upload ko na, no? Ayan. Sa to? Sa Cavite. Ayan. The next is yan, geosynthetic. So ito naman, gawa sa components that also used for earth materials. Kumbaga instead of for slow protection din to, inilalatag mo din, dadaganan mo para hindi siya gagalaw sa slow protection. Imagine ito, vast siya or medyo malaki. Nakalagay dun sa sloping area. then bago mo tambakan. So yan, ganyan yung ano niya, setup niya or the material. And then similar with the geosynthetic, we have geotextile and then geomembranes. Ito, yung geotextile, ganito siya, typically defined as permeable textile. Pag sabi mo permeable, pwedeng lumusot yung tubig. Used to increase soil stability, provide erosion control, or aid in drainage. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng pumasok yung tubig dyan. Okay, pero it somewhat make the soil stable or hindi siya mag-erode or mag-slide, ganyan kung nasa sloping. Ang geomembrane naman, ito naman, tawag dito yan, they serve purpose of filtering runoff. So, hindi naman siya permeable. Okay? Usually, ginagamit to kung ako nagkakamali sa mga landfill. Kasi kapag kawala nito at umulan, yung leachate. So, okay? So, leachate yung tawag sa sa katas ng basura. So, type natin para leachate. Ayan. So, yung leachate, yan, ito siya. So, naglalagay tayo ng para yung katas ng basura, hindi bababa sa lupa. Kasi take note, yung mga leachate na ganito, kailangan nakokolek yan at natitreat. Okay, bago i-dispose. Kasi pag hindi, yun, pwede siyang pumasok sa water table that could affect yung supply ng tubig. And take note, sa Philippines, most of our source of potable water, groundwater pa din. Kahit meron tayong mga dams, hindi naman lahat reliant sa dams. Paano yung mga islands natin sa Philippines na walang dam? So they are reliant sa groundwater. So we don't want the groundwater to be compromised. Ayun. So paano ba nagkaka-leachate? Yung ibang mga basura may tubig. Pag umulan, nagkakatubig. So yan. So those are the things that we treat in terms of the leachate. But anyway, going back. So at least nagkaka-idea kayo saan siya ginagamit. Ayan. So and then geocomposites, ayan, usually sheet or edge drains consisting of a fabricated core which is geotextile is bonded. So parang geotextile. So they made a composite fiber naman with this one. Hindi pa ako nakakita saan to ginamit. Probably we can search later on. Yan. Termite proofing, ito skipan ko muna, basahin niyo na lang muna. Paubos na kasi yung time ko. Yun, for the termite proofing, so we also consider yung proofing ng termite. Actually, hindi lang termite when we are dealing with the structure, pati yung mga pests. Okay, so usually we done the pest control right after the construction, pero hindi pa tayo nag-fit out or hindi pa tayo gumagawa ng mga cabinets, etc. Kasi hindi pwede, baka mamaya masira agad or lalo na pag inanay. So we normally call pest controls to work with that one. So there are at least two types of termite proofing. Una, physical barriers, the other one is chemical. So for the physical, we include barriers. Kunwari yung mga stainless barriers or mesh para hindi makatawid yung mga termites. Take note, ang ginagapangan nila or ang tinatawiran nila, di ba? Wood. Okay, or timber or lumber. So yun, kung kaya nating ma-protect yung isang item or isang part of the structure with a physical barrier, like for example, yun nga, naglalagay tayo ng mga ballasts, etc. So, yun. Pero ang pinaka-common is yung chemical. Yan ang isa sa mga ginagamit natin is yung, ang tawag dito, solignum ba yan? Solignum ba tawag doon? Ayun, so yun yung isa sa mga treatment or chemical na pwedeng gamitin for termite proofing. Ito yung road pavement layer. Ito yung na discuss natin kanina. So yung pinakaibabaw yung surface can be hot mix asphalt or concrete, base course, sub-base. Etong frost protection hindi appropriate sa atin. Then subgrade. Subgrade, yan na yung bare na lupa na hindi mo na itatouch pero iko-compact mo lang. Ayan, asphalt, as defined, it is made out of, it is a dark brown to black cementite material solid or semi-solid composed of bitumen. So ito yung ano, yung yung aggregates nilalagyan natin ng kulay itim. Okay? And then niluluto bago yan isalang dito. Then yung iba binubugahan pa ng apoy tapos bago i-compact. Then we have also the cold mix asphalt, yung syempre hindi mainit, yung sa hot mix. Ayan, so it is prepared with a relatively light and slow curing asphalt. So ito yung mga commonly inilalagay sa mga potholes. And then yun, lastly is yung asphalt overlay. When one or more courses of layers of asphalt leveling. So kung kunwari meron ng asphalt before maglalagay ka ng another, so that is overlay. So that's asphalt overlay. So you are applying one or more layers of asphalt. Lalo na pag nilalagay sa existing pavement. Ito common din na ginagawa sa atin itong asphalt overlay. Tapos pagka pagka tinamad na sila or parang ayaw na nila nung in-overlay, masyado na daw makapal, babakbakin, 'di ba nakakakita tayo ng mga ganong kalsada. Merong asphalt manipis, kakapalan ng kakapalan, tapos after certain period of time, babakbakin ulit. Ayan. Pero yung asphalt lang yung ibabaw, yung i-scrape yung made out of this asphalt. Ayan, tapos kinakompact. Ayun, so that's the end. For the assignment, yung isa for the vernacular, so that would be, teka, iyan ko na muna. Stop ko muna yung recording. And then, I'll download